So we're gonna put this video in 2x speed for you guys who can't sit still with low attention spans. No hate, but I'm just saying. So Rockstar finally added my favorite modern day car, which is a BMW G80 M3. Unfortunately, we did not get the M4. Some of these customizations you will see would have fit a 2-door rather than a 4-door. For whatever reasons, we just didn't get a 4-door. So a 2-door. My bad. We did get a 4-door. So as you can see here, tons of customizations for some and a very small amount for a few. Specifically, what I would like to say, 3 aftermarket options for the grille. I do not like that. The car in real life has tons of bumpers and grills it could go from. I wish we would have a little bit more detail there. The hood, not too bad. I've realizing that for you to have the identical one to real life, you have to get the UBERMACHT hood, whereas the stock one is a bit weird with the indentations being closer to the driver, so it needs to be closer to the front, not the driver. As you can see here, so we're gonna do, I should put my bend split on, shouldn't I? We're gonna do the channel plate, no problem. And I started having some issues here with the game, so I'm gonna skip forward here, and because I was having audio issues. But nonetheless, let's see. We can customize the interior, and I should say this, pretty hot take, the black interior is the best interior for most cars. Some of you guys are just way too creative or just curious with these interior colors. But nonetheless, it's a game, you could change it very easily. So I'm doubting my car is going to stay like this. I'm just reviewing it, how the car drives for performance. But yes, I'm not going to leave a dark interior, and I'm just joking about that interior comment. So as you can see here, we could customize the headlights, which is cool. You could make these you could make the car look like it has laser headlights, but I'm realizing Rockstar gave us a base model to work with. The car is pretty much stripped out, and then once you upgrade it, you could make it into a CS. No, not a CS. You could make it into a competition, a CS or a CSL. So that's pretty cool that they gave us an option. Or you could just have like a car that a jack of all trades kind of car. You could have a CS, half CSL, or maybe a base with CSL parts on it. So kind of strange, but good, kudos to them for doing that. I know you guys will get creative. Now for my roofs, I will say 12 roof options is kind of overkill. We do not need some of these, specifically the surfboard and the I was gonna say the surfboard and the ski box, but never mind. I've actually seen ski boxes on M3s in real life, so we're gonna scratch that. And the spoilers, which I will not equip right now because this car, I drove it over here, and it drives a bit like a Cypher with just 2 more doors. And the Cypher kind of likes to drift a little bit. The Cypher specifically is underpowered. And then the Reinhardt is just a bit too heavy. You kind of have to put low grip tires on the Reinhardt, so it's kind of in between a Reinhardt. So I'm gonna see with the additional power upgrades if it will have the throne as the drift BMW, but I already could tell that it might be possible. So suspension,
that's some composition,
not gonna do too crazy because you really can't notice between stock and competition. You're spending more money at that point. I already know what wheels I'm gonna put on here. I am gonna put some either Endo V1s or V2s or Cosmos, or I might do something from the street class, but never mind. Let's see how you can't go wrong with testing the wheels before you purchase, right? And we're gonna look through the whole list. I'm not gonna skip forward because you guys could make a decision. So you see Endo V1, Endo V2, wait. So these, let's do chrome. So Endo V2s, I do like that. I do like it better than Endo V1. You can do well colors on chrome. Okay, so not too bad. Some tint, because the car is black interior. You don't really need you don't have anything special going on. As you can see, this is being done very effortlessly. With the Cypher, you have to put whoa. So the car is rear-wheel drive. I just hit the double clutch and it's behaving like it's rear-wheel drive. So it really brings me back to my point that I thought the car was a base model, because base model BMW M3s, which are non-X-Drive cars, non-X-Drive means it doesn't have all-wheel drive, so you're only getting power to the rear wheels. So that makes tons of sense. And another thing, if this was in a different class, such as a sedans class, with the Shafter V12 and the Cinquemila, it would pretty much overpower the whole class for just 2.1 million before trade price. And then if you do get the trade price, it's even cheaper at 1.6. You could pretty much dominate the sedans class with this thing. But I'm not gonna say that for certain yet, because the Shafter V12 has always surprised me when it comes to beating newer cars with higher price tags. So that would be an interesting race. I'm just not gonna throw it down and say this is definitely faster than a Shafter V12. I still have my faith in the Shafter V12. It has always surprised me when it comes to how its performance stacks up against newer vehicles or older vehicles. And I'm just not saying that the Sentinel GTS can beat a Shafter V12, even though they're not in the same class. I'm just saying. So if this was all-wheel drive with the class of sedans, it could potentially overrun the class. So I saw our Rockstar put it in the sports class, which is the most vast and varying class of vehicles in Grand Theft Auto. But with drifting, I will say, if you do like to drift, this car is pretty good. You will have to get used to its mannerisms. Sometimes I'm throwing it into corners and I just completely do a 180. I just spin out. And sometimes I stick it and I go through with the drift and I'm like very successful. But sometimes I'm not fully there yet where I master this thing. So I have to get some prep, more seat time. But the one complaint I do have would be the braking performance of the vehicle. The car, even with maximum brakes, as I said, the car is fully upgraded mechanically, right? Even with that, the car performs poorly for the speed that you're going, and it's very fast. So I wish it had a little bit more. I've experienced better braking in this game, but I guess Rockstar decided you're gonna have to you can't have all pros. You have to have a con. So when you're racing this thing, please be mindful. The brakes aren't the best. You might have to use some type of technique or another opponent as your braking method. So just keep that in mind. So for $2.1 million, if you're not really interested in missions, you're gonna end up having to pay $2.1 million. I do think it's a fair price if you do get it for $1.6 million. By the time you're done, you should be able to be closing in on the same price. I'd just say for an extra 400 grand, you would put on everything that you would need, and you're on the same ballpark. So I usually would say that cars are overpriced, but I have some cars coming up which are much more reasonably priced, and I'm kind of seeing that you kind of get what you pay for. You pay for a premium product, you get a premium You pay a premium price, you get a premium product. If you pay a little bit less, cars kind of suck. But it is what it is. I do like this Sentinel Sentinel GTS. Sentinel GTS. I almost said Sentinel XS. That's a different car. But yeah, let's cut to the interior club. And now I'm looking at the interior, the engine bay. I do believe that this car is based on the Cypher. It drives like a Cypher. It sounds like a Cypher. But it just doesn't perform like a Cypher. It's pretty much buffed. And same engine bay, same interior for the front seats. The back seats are a little bit weird, but it is what it is. You can't really, who cares? It's just the back seats. And the trunk, I don't really care. It's a nice trunk. It's nice to have a trunk that looks decent, especially with what that Rockstar could have put in there for an interior for the trunk. We've seen worse. So yeah, as I said before, not too bad. Not too bad on the braking. For those who are going to critique my customization, you just added wheels. I'm definitely gonna add more stuff to the car. I'm just testing the performance. I never complained about the traction because I did test that off camera. You do need a wing on the car for guarantee purposes. You get less slip. The car hooks and goes when you have a wing on the back. But stock, if you do like drifting, do not put a wing on it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know, what would your spec be? I would say in the comment section, right? My other spec would be pretty much green or the red interior. So basically like a watermelon interior. I've seen that spec so many times, and I kind of grew on me. I kind of like that whole color scheme. So I love man green with red interior or some type of red, whichever red they have in the configurator will do good for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the Sentinel GTS down below in the comment section. Also,